Okay, I just wanted to share like my thought process for this blanket idea that I've been kind of posting a picture on my Facebook page with the squares. First of all, I mentioned I'm doing it on a sock loom. I'm gonna end up having three like strips basically that I'll have to sew together. So I got my green and I got my white because I decided to add a white in between them. So I'll show you my new design and kind of my thought process and how you can kind of use Microsoft Excel to kind of help you out if you have that on your computer. So this is what I'm using. It's just the sock loom. Oops, excuse me. Just the sock loom, if I can get it off there. And I'm not closing it off. As you can kind of see, I'm just doing a flat panel. So this is what it looks like on my Excel spreadsheet. I know it's going to look confusing to people, but the skeins I have are relatively small. In fact, if I can find where it went, I can show you that one skein is only like this big around. It's fairly small skein of yarn, so that's why you see the whole whole. It means I'm using that whole skein of yarn. My first strip is this. This is what I'm working on right now. And I just did the green, and I put a K to let myself know that I would be knitting it, basically E-wrapping it. This lets me know roughly how wide I actually think that's going to be when it's laid out. That could change, an estimate off of measuring half the side and doubling it. And then I did the white, which was all in pearl, and I did 20 rows of that. It was just a Red Heart Super Saver brand white. And then I'll be going into the black next, and that's going to be knitted. So you can kind of see that's my thought process. And then over here lets me know roughly how wide I think it's going to be and roughly how long I think it's going to be. I've been kind of measuring, like the green section came out to about 8 inches. Again, that's measuring while it's on the loom, so it might be a little off. And I'm believing the white sections are going to be about 3 inches apiece. So we're looking at a 52-inch long panel by 37.5 wide. This could change, like I said, once I get it. The first strip, I'm doing it one strip, then another strip, and then another strip. And I don't know if it's showing up right, but this is like a brown, even though it looks kind of weird on here. So that's how I'm doing it. And I keep these, this is how I do my notes, because with Excel, if you look how I'm clicking, these are cells. So all I did was kind of figure out, okay, I knew how many skeins I had. I had 3 different colors I wanted to use. So that's why I started out with the green, the black, or the brown and the black. And then I decided to add white just to kind of make it pop a little bit. And then all I did was move the last one to the first row and then kind of repeat that pattern all the way through, the last one becoming the first kind of thing. And that kind of let me play out knowing basically how many skeins I had of each color. It kind of helped me make a grid of what it would kind of look like. It won't be exact. We all know it won't be exact. This is just to give me a rough idea. And this is how I sometimes have to plan stuff out. I'm not a big pattern person, so I need to make sure that when I do something like this, I try to keep it as simple for me to understand. And that's an important thing. I mean, if you were to do this and you want to, you could write the whole word E-wrap, whatever you want, or pearl. So, I mean, use whatever abbreviations, but this is just what I'm working on. Like I said, I'm doing it on the sock loom that I have until I can get the all-in-one. And this is the pearls section, which is a little hard to show. That's the green part that was knitted, which is supposed to be about 8 inches. And like I said, I'll end up with 3 strips, and what I'm going to do to attach these is, since I have the Infinity 2 loom, I'm going to retake some of the loops and put them on there. I'm hoping that idea will work, kind of like how you saw me do it in my loom knitting video about the sweater and how I put the loops back on the pegs. That's kind of the idea I'm hoping to be able to piece this together, because as long as it's not longer than 5 feet long, I should be okay in putting it on my Infinity 2 loom, because it does roughly a 5-foot panel. So as long as I'm not hitting over that, I should be okay. So that's just what I wanted to show, my thought process. And what I'm planning on doing is there's going to be a little bit of white probably in between these two. I'm going to use white to join all 3 panels together, I think. I may or may not create some sort of edging. I don't know. It's going to take me a while. So I wanted to just kind of show you guys that sometimes the thought process starts with just kind of doing colors. Like, for example, this is what I'm doing now, right? But if I scroll over to here, I can get it right, and I go up, this is the original. This is the one I showed you guys on my Facebook. And I just didn't really like that. I really wanted to lighten it up a little bit. Oops, excuse me. So that's part of the reason you see it kind of done like this now. It's just to kind of go with an idea of what I want it to look like. And like I said, I kept my notes knowing that the small skeins I could put whole. If you would do something like this, you may need to put the exact number of rows like I did with the other one, because I'm using a different skein for the white, so I need to know exactly how many rows I want to do. And that changed. I first did like 5, and I'm like, no, I want it a little thicker. And then I did 10. I'm like, no, I want a little thicker. So I decided on 20. So that's kind of how I came to that. But yeah, this is just kind of a basic thing of how I came up with the idea for the blanket. I'm hoping I can piece it all together well enough, and it'll look nice when it's all done. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm hoping it's not too big. My daughter's already asked to kind of keep it. So I'm kind of learning, maybe not a good idea to make projects in front of my daughter. So this is just to show you guys what it's like, and I hope you enjoyed.